Hey everybody, welcome back to Drinks with a Dog. We're here now. It's Florida week. I know we're all excited. We're amped up. It is, as my good friend Brian Whitehead would say, those dirty, rotten swamp lizards. Right, take them down. So as we get started, once again, I'm here with the professor, John Akaki.
Good evening.
Exactly. Before we get started, we'll go and say tonight's festivities and discussion is not sponsored by, but supplied by Knob Creek. So it's gonna be some good stuff. Really excited about this. It's some good. It's a really good batch we got going here. So we're gonna enjoy it as we have a good discussion about the dogs. So let's get into this thing, John.
Good evening, Matt. Good evening,
Bye
audience.
week is over with, right? Thank God. Thank goodness.
We got maybe healed up. We've got some healthy players, and we don't have many on the questionable list. In fact, zero. We have the traditional guys that are out right now.
the four.
The four that are out, but we've been surviving without them. But evidently, we're in the most healthiest shape we have been, especially on the offensive line. Matt and I have discussed, having the show, or at least having a little bit of a volley here, and it's the heck of a time to go down to the swamp. I'm going to be going to the swamp tomorrow. Actually, I'm going down to Brunswick and then St. Simons and Darien, but Saturday I'll be in Jacksonville, Florida for the game. Looking forward to that.
I know you guys have a great time.
Yeah, it's quite a venue. It's Jaguar Stadium. It's an NFL stadium. A lot of times you got to be real careful around a NFL stadium if you're going to scalp or sell tickets. There's either a 12 or 1,500 foot rule that if you scalp a ticket over face value, they can actually jail you in the jail that's in the stadium.
Oh, wow.
I've had a friend that had that happen 10 years ago, and he was surprised. So be careful if you're going down there to sell tickets. Really be careful, because you could end up with a fine of a couple $1,000s, and you may miss the game. But that's quite a cocktail party of still sorts. You can't bring a whole lot into the stadium because it's always regimented with people watching you and patting you down. But it's a heck of a festive environment. They've been playing the Lindsey Buck play, the 93-yard pass to Lindsey this week with Larry Munson, saying that's probably the greatest radio call ever that's ever been recorded in college football, and that may be true. But we're looking forward to the trip. We've got a pretty good team. I think we're gelling at the right time. It's not going to be easy. The Gators probably are going to be more juiced up, something to prove, maybe a breath of fresh air with Napier gone. You hate to see a coach lose a job. It affects the family, it affects a lot of other coaches, it affects the fan base, but yet they'll probably be resilient, maybe more so now. And if I'm correct, did they just not beat Mississippi State on a real tight one on the road?
Texas played Mississippi State last week, so
I'm talking about
could have been the week before that.
Florida, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got played the week before that. I think it was a close game.
Okay, 2 weeks ago they beat Mississippi State.
Yeah, because that's when he got fired. They beat Mississippi State,
and they beat Texas too.
And then they got fired in that time frame.
So they've got a decent pedigree, even though they lost 4 games. It's not like they're a pushover. They're going to be a very tough opponent for us to beat.
And they're not losing to scrub teams. Like they have lost to. They have one of the toughest schedules in the entire country. Let's not dispute that whatsoever.
That's for sure.
So I got a question before we get into the actual current now time. So did you play in this game in your time there?
I played in this game at 78 and 79 I was injured. So I only had 1 year where I actually played in the game, and that was 78. And we beat them down there. But I came in 75, I was a red shirt in 76, and scout teamer in 77. Back then, it took several years to get on the field unless you were a phenom. We didn't have many of those, but great venue. It used to be called the Gator Bowl Stadium, and it's been demolished and rebuilt. And now, evidently, next year we'll be playing in the Mercedes Dome in Atlanta as they do a home and away there, and then in Tampa for 2 years running as they rebuild the Jaguar Stadium, which is going to be a state-of-the-art stadium. So this is the last year in the Jaguar Stadium. But
Yeah, I was really hoping they were going to do a home and home those 2 years. That would have been awesome. To the 1 year to go to the Swamp and then come to Athens, but it didn't. It didn't work out. There's too many dollars in that neutral site game.
I don't like how it's working out because we've got this Black Friday game with Georgia Tech, and a lot of people are aware of this, but corporate America has kind of taken over our ticket offices in the SEC, and it's hard to even get a ticket. We used to be able to buy a Georgia Tech ticket, even from Georgia Tech or from Georgia for our game, and I got boxed out, and I've got nearly $30,000 in the hopper over annual donations, and I couldn't qualify for a ticket for the Georgia Tech game in the Mercedes-Benz on Black Friday.
Isn't that crazy?
And that really disappointed me, and I hate to say it, but who views these clips, I don't know, but if anybody does view them, I don't think it's right for season ticket holders to be boxed out when historically we've had the ability to make those games and make those ticket purchases.
Especially if it's a neutral site game. I
Right.
100% agree with you.
I don't see the rationale from it, and in fact, the minimum required annual donation cumulative is $70,000. That's a real high bar number.
Oh yeah, for real. So I mean, I think Mercedes has more seating available or more capacity than Tech's place does, right?
Yes.
So I don't understand why it would be a shutout for us. It's their home game technically. That doesn't make much sense.
2 years ago, Kevin Whitehead and I went
we
to
were
the
there too,
game.
with the girls.
Yeah, and we had a great time, and we bought our tickets through the Georgia ticket office that were tickets that were returned. Georgia Tech had extra tickets. They couldn't sell out their own games.
I'm pretty sure that we were there. We met you guys there at on the street and watched the Alabama game that evening. It was fun. But yeah, that was a good environment for that time. I wouldn't want to talk to Georgia Tech. We'll be back to Florida in a second, but just because we'll bang on this stadium. Like Georgia Tech has the worst stadium I've ever been in.
Oh, it's a tough.
Dude, I mean, the design of it is terrible. It's old. If for a school full of engineers, you would have thought that thing would have been better to develop than what it is. It is a terrible, terrible stadium. For anyone who has not been there, you're not missing anything. Literally, you're not. But we went there. It was there. We watched it. It was a great game too. It was still kind of close. I mean, we won like by double digits, but still, it was still a good game. And we'll see as we get through to that game comes in the season for us. They're getting better every year, and we're seeing that as the games we play out with them. But let's get back to the Florida game we have here. We talked about earlier about us being healthy. If we look at their list, they actually have some injuries that they're waiting on. Their best receiver, their go-to receiver, he's out supposedly for this game.
I just saw that, and 2 defensive linemen are out that they traditionally want to use.
Okay.
So that's to our advantage. But this time of the season, everybody seems to play hurt. But it's good that they have some people out that maybe we can take advantage of that.
So how do you feel about the piece for them now? So this is something maybe worrisome for me because this is going to be their Super Bowl. It just truly is. Because Florida State's down now.
Right.
I mean, if Florida State was good, I'd say that would probably be their bigger game. But now they're down. We're the last relevant game they really honestly have.
Right.
They're going to give us everything. We're going to see, in my opinion, we're going to see multiple trick plays. They're going to throw things out there that have not been done before, that they would not see on video. So we could see a struggle from our defense early on in this game. We may see some struggle on our offense maybe early on because they're going to throw different defensive schemes at us. How many of these teams that we've seen so far, like to your point, have let go of their coaches, and those teams have gotten better after that coach has been gone because maybe those coaches are a little bit hard-headed and they want to micromanage everything, and they don't want to take on any extra advice or insight or wisdom from their assistants. And then when they're gone, you see how they gotten better. That's happened throughout a lot of these schools, and something maybe we need to be worried about here, maybe seeing some of the stuff that we're not prepared for. Not that we can't adjust to it in the second half or whatnot, but we may see a really rough first half, which I know for as Georgia fans, we're not used to that at all, right? No, we're totally used to that first half. So we may need to just be really, don't jump off the cliff on the first half just yet, because we will adjust. Just be prepared for it.
Billy Napier has been the offensive coordinator / head coach for the Gators, calling all the plays. And from what I'm hearing, that people really didn't like the fact that he would not relegate those duties to an official OC, offensive coordinator. Now Lagway might feel like, oh, I'm not under this jurisdictional approach that Napier has put on me. And maybe he's going to actually be free. Gonzalez mailed, I think it's Gonzalez.
I don't.
I think that's the
You're probably right.
And maybe he'll feel emboldened to start throwing the ball. I would suspect Florida to throw the ball 40, 50 times in this game.
Yeah, and that's the thing we watched through Lagway through the last few years is that he'll throw a good deep ball, which is fine, great. He has struggled with the medium to short range balls for some reason.
He's evidently having a hard time reading defenses or seeing what's available to him. I don't know if it's a check down issue or processing issue. Just because a guy is talented doesn't mean he's not anxiety prone or he can't deal with complex thought patterns in a quick fashion.
Yeah.
That's probably the deciding factor that helps why one player is exceptional and one with equally talent can't process.
But looking at statistically, if we look at Gunner and Lagway, their statistics are actually very close. Both around 1,500 yards. Gunner definitely has more rushing yards for sure. The only really difference that we're seeing is that there are a lot more sacks and interceptions on Lagway's side. So the sack piece we may not see because we're just not getting a lot of great pass rush this year. But interceptions may be an opportunity for us.
Well, Lagway may have thrown 8 or 9 interceptions, but 5 of them in one game. So
that's a very good point.
You pull that game out, he's been pretty good with ball possession control and so forth, taking care of the football. I think our defense would probably have to play a little bit more on the line of scrimmage. I think, everybody has picked us apart on the line of scrimmage or the dink and dunk throws, and I think they have some good receivers. They got a couple really good receivers still, but Alabama at 3 or 4. We'll see how it turns out.
They do a very good running back. He's already got over 600 yards this year already, but he is their main guy. So, that is it. Is like he has 600 yards. The next person has like 130, and they have like not even a quarter. It's like 10% of the rest of the carries. So that could be something. If we can shut down him, I think his name is, it's not Brown. Brown's a receiver. I forget what his name is. I apologize. I think it's it's B-A-U-G-H. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. So that him, if we shut him down, we've done pretty good well in the rush game. I mean, we're top 15 rush defense in the country. Guys, hard to believe it, but we're top 30 total defense in the country. If you really look at it, it's hard to believe that from our past history. But we are, and that's playing some really top-tier offensive teams. If you look like who we played so far, we've had some good top-tier offensive teams that we've been dealing with. So still to be averaging 19 points a game, our opponents scoring, and we're yard-wise, we're even better. So they may be scoring points on us sometimes, but some of that's due to our turnovers. Some of that's due to special plays that people get, but we're not really allowing a lot of yards. I mean, yes, the Ole Miss game we knew was going to be tough with that offense, but you saw eventually we shut them down in the fourth quarter.
A couple things that people go unnoticed. Our defense has faced 2 of the top 3 offenses in America.
Okay.
Tennessee's number 1 at a 501 clip a game, and Ole Miss is number 3 at like a 485 or 495 per game. So our defense has been tested by the best. If not for that, our statistics would be a heck of a lot better, and it wouldn't be so helter-skelter that, hey, how do we handle a passing offense? We haven't looked good. Well, I don't think Lagway in Florida can match up with Ole Miss and Tennessee on offense.
I agree.
So that's a big advantage for us going into this game. We also, on offense, outmanned their offense by about 118, 125 yards per game to the good beyond what Florida has averaged per game. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of yardage, and a lot of ours is on the ground. So I think we have a strong ability to take care of business here on Saturday in Jacksonville. I keep saying the Swamp. We're not playing in the Swamp. We're playing in Jacksonville. But
It's Florida. It's all a swamp, right? Let's be honest.
statistics are statistics. You can draw some conclusions to them. I did post a thing about their defensive line versus our offensive line being a pivotal part of the game. Carmen Prince gave me a girl. He said, yeah, I agree with you 100%. Only I saw the fact that I think out of the 11 sacks, or I think that's right, 13 sacks that Florida has to our 8, 9 of them, I believe 9 of them or 11 of them are from their defensive line, not their linebackers. Where conversely, everything on our sack except one is from our linebackers. Totally different philosophies. They're going to attack the line of scrimmage. Look for our running backs to possibly gash them on big plays. Because when a defense tries to get upfield, if you catch them in the right play, in the right gaps, you got a lot of running room.
Okay. So we've talked a little bit about defense, our defense side, how we think that scheme's good. So let's talk about our offense, like you're saying, to their defense. Let's be honest, their offense has been up and down, but their defense really honestly has kept them in a lot of those games. Even though they lost them, have kept them in a lot of those games. I mean, they really kept them in we earlier talked before the show about the Miami game. They kept them in that game.
Yep.
You know, they've kept them the defense helped beat Texas, let's be honest, and they really have done a good job. The defense has not given up. The offense has been scattered for sure, but that defense has not given up on that team, no matter how bad their record has been. And those guys still are playing for their career. They're playing for the pros. They're playing to be noticed. And like I said, this is their Super Bowl. They're going to try to show out because scouts are looking, how did you do against the best competition? And this is one of the best competitions they're going to see all year round.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Don't be surprised if they come out with passion and fire and energy, like Kirby says, on the other side of the ball. So back to our running backs and our running game. Frazier, to me, since that fumble against Alabama, he has played, to me, very well. He's protecting the ball. He knows when to have the ball in one hand, and he knows when he's going into traffic, he covers with two hands. And he knows it may cost him some yards to gain by running with two hands up, but he's going to protect that ball, and I appreciate it. That means he's learning his lesson, and he's not willing to make his big highlight to sacrifice the team.
He's still only a freshman and a half, if you think about it.
Yes, freshman and a half, like the way put it.
Freshman and a half. And by the way, taking an SEC hit is a lot different than some of these other conferences.
Yeah, you're right. So we haven't seen a whole bunch lately from Bowens. Do we think that's related to some kind of injury maybe he occurred? Because we saw, he was like, he ran for over 100 yards.
I think he has a slight hamstring, and maybe they pulled him in Ole Miss. For whatever reason, we still were dialed in offensively. No matter who we had personnel-wise, we were able to run the ball and move the ball pretty well in Ole Miss, which is a testament to our offensive line gelling. I'm not thinking it's a negative that Ole Miss's defense was not good enough. They're not bad. They had a good defensive front.
They beat Arkansas.
That's right.
At Arkansas.
So, getting back to
I said Oklahoma. I'm sorry for those listening. Oklahoma, not Arkansas. I apologize.
Getting back to that, our offense versus their defense, kind of taking a look at how we match up. We're going to miss Colby Young.
Oh man, dramatically.
We're going to miss him badly. Dylan Bell's going to get a lot more snaps. Noah Thompson, I don't know how many more snaps he'll get. He'll get some, but I think we'll rely heavily on Dylan Bell. Dylan Bell's going to be a workhorse.
Branch, more tight end play for sure, but you can. Honestly, Young, he has played great this year, and I feel bad for him being a senior and now that stuff happening to him. I would love for him to be able to come back. Just don't see it happening. I think as now he prepares for his future, he's got enough tape on him to show he's an NFL player. I just don't see him coming back to sacrifice that future, which I don't blame him. I don't blame him whatsoever. So I'm not saying he's being selfish. I think his mind's gonna be right. Just to
Kirby made the mention that he has had put enough work on tape. He's just got to now get healthy for himself to get to the draft.
Yeah. How many guys you see that are his size who will take screen passes? Right, taking a screen pass and bowling through guys. It took 2 or 3 guys to get him down. That is strength. and that is a skill set. I mean, and we knew Gunner loved him. Gunner would throw that over the top ball, and he trusted him every time with it. So it's time for other guys to step up. And I don't want to jinx or knock on wood how it is, but we have not dropped balls at all like we did last year. And I'm not sure it's because it's the ball being thrown to them, or they're just more dialed in, or it's just that was just a facade of a year that just didn't matter what happened, it was all going to go wrong. I don't know. It just felt that way to me. It felt like last year was no matter what happened, something was going to go wrong to make that a year hard for us. Because guys who didn't drop passes, like back to Dylan Bell. Dylan Bell is a freshman and a sophomore, especially a sophomore year, was catching that one-handed catch we saw last week when against Ole Miss. He was doing that all season long his sophomore year. And then junior year, he was one of the highest drop passes receivers in the country. It was just a very weird dynamic that just happened that year. Like the voodoo black cat was on him, and they just couldn't get it off. So you think Dylan Bell's going to have a big the rest of the season? Which I think his ability to play run game and the rush game and the passing game is going to be a big factor.
I think he's earned the snaps, first of all.
Yes,
regardless of Kobe Young or not. Bell has exceeded expectations again this year. He's back where he once was 2 years ago. Last year was an off year for him. Getting back to all the drops, and we've beleaguered this probably plenty of times already, I think timing has so much to do, and velocity of the delivery of the ball. Beck had a lot of velocity. Gunner's not that hard of a thrower. And the ball gets there a little bit faster than normal, and the receiver's eyes are not in the right place. It's hard to catch a ball. Have you ever tried it? I used to condition my son when he played for Stratford as a tight end. I'd tell him to stand with his back to me. We'd be about 30 yards, 20 yards apart. And I would tell him, ball. And the ball would already been in the air. And in other words, now he has to turn around, find the ball, and catch it. Mm-hmm. Well, if Beck's throwing that ball is there.
Yeah. And
I think that had a lot to do with a lot of our drops.
So is that on the receivers or on the quarterback?
Probably both.
Okay.
But I would think it's more in the quarterback.
Okay. Knowing his receivers. And that's one thing I think about Gunner being, not saying no one's perfect, that he's still trying to learn his speed of the receivers. We see a lot of balls where he's throwing the ball behind him. Like some of those balls for Branch, when it's going across the middle, he catches Branch in stride. He gets.
They're making better catches than they did the previous. There's no doubt about it. They're catching them behind them. And Humphreys is, my God, that guy can catch anything.
This year.
Yeah.
So, man, that's the thing. I think once if Gunner can get that speed down, and he's got to recognize everybody doesn't have the same speed. Like, Branch has one speed. Bell has one speed. Humphreys has a different speed. And knowing these guys' speed, knowing how far out in front I need to throw the ball, I think he sometimes throws the ball at the same rate for everybody. That's why you get the ball behind some guys sometimes.
Right.
Once again, that comes with time and development with them. Not saying that he doesn't have that, but I think Gunner's a fine passer. He's a good quarterback for us. I'm not poo-pooing on Gunner.
He's getting better and better and better. His confidence level is coming up.
Yes.
He's able to layer the ball in there in such a way, and then when he has to zip it in there, I mean, he has.
He's got guts, man.
There's no doubt about it. I think he's won a lot of people's hearts.
And he's done it, and he doesn't boast about it. I think that's one of my things I like, though. If you watch that game against Ole Miss, you rarely saw him, celebrating. He was like, next time.
Right.
We have not won the game yet. I've still got to keep going. And Sisson has some of that, too. But he also showed some emotion when he celebrated, which I appreciated. He had that swag about him as well. Gunner is like going to work. I got to go to work. And he does. When he makes those runs, that's when he gets the most amped. When he makes those runs for touchdowns, he gets more excited than anything else, I think.
So we're going to Madison, and we just left the Ole Miss game. I guess it was the Ole Miss game. And we're in Madison. We're going to stop at Amici's and eat something before we head on back. And there's a SUV, a big, like a Yukon or something. And man's wife's getting ready to get in the car, and he's got the door open, and he's sitting in there. And I look down on the front plate, says the U. University of Miami, and I yelled at him. I said, "Y'all want to trade quarterbacks now?" And Gunner has just thrown for 4, and Beck threw for 4 interceptions. It's kind of that moment in time.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Nice little dig, right, to a stranger in the car.
It was sad, right? It sounds evil. I'm not evil. I was trying to make a friend. It was only a small poke.
So how are you seeing this game? You think we continue to stay balanced offense, or do you think we are going to go to different kind of games? I mean, I'm not super well versed in Florida's team. I know they have a pretty good run defense, a good to average pass, defense. Do we still keep our balanced attack, or do you think we see more runs from Gunner? Do we think we see more passes?
I think you need to give Bobo all the grace you can, because we're going to run the ball 65% of the time, at least in this game. That means 70%. We're going to pound the rock. We don't want Lagway to have the ball, and we're going to run. Miami and Texas A&M ran for 185. We're averaging 185. We haven't been below 180 or 185 since Austin Peay, which was a non-liar type of game. But in other words, if we are averaging 185 and Miami and Texas A&M ran for 185, you better believe we're going to try to run for 250 on these boys, and Lagway is going to be on the bench.
Yeah.
So that's my answer to that.
That's a great perspective. I really like that mindset. Now, I'm fine with that. People have to realize, don't be yelling at TV, what are you doing, Bobo?
Right.
Because he's not playing. These guys, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying kind of guy like I know who they are, but I believe that they are not coaching for that series. They're playing chess. They're coaching for 4 or 5 series away.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's why I believe, honestly, while we're seeing the development of these tight ends, it's because they on purpose had said, hey, you guys, your time is coming, be patient. We're going to throw this, we're going to throw that. It's going to open you guys up for one of these games. And look what happened. The last 2 games, we have seen tight ends get way more involved, because all those defenses are saying, well, they're not throwing the tight ends. We don't have to put much pressure on them anymore. But guess what? Now they're going to have to account for those tight ends. But it's going to leave the receivers open. It's going to leave running backs open in the flat. And even if our running backs get the ball in the flat, we got 10 yards automatically, guys. It's going to be there. I know it is. So we just need to be, like you were saying, we need to be patient. We may get a rush for no yards. We may get where we rush the ball. Say it's 3rd and 7, and we do a run play and may not get the first down. That may happen, but that is, like John's point, I think is to open up stuff for the future.
I think we'll be opened up on the first drive. I think we'll want to score as quickly as possible, and once we get the lead, then we're going to pound the rock.
Okay.
If it works out that way.
Okay, so what else you got?
I don't know. I mean, we've got a good punter. We've got a good place kicker. I hope he doesn't kick it out of bounds 2 times in a row again.
What was that about? What do you think that's about?
I don't know. There was a girl in the stands that he liked, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it. These women get in the way of our players all the time, and I'm not going there. But anyway.
That's funny. So, I mean, yeah, so for someone like we've seen so many times where he's just kicking the ball back in the end zone, and this 2 times in a game kicking it. I mean, are we so worried that they're going to run the ball back? Is that what, like, I'm curious about it? Like, why are we going to give people extra opportunities?
I thought we were going to be cute and keep them pinned in that corner, and then maybe we could tackle them at the 10 or 12-yard line. I don't know. But it didn't work out.
So, got another question for you. Of all the games that you've seen, the Georgia-Florida game, you've seen, by the way, everybody, it is Georgia-Florida. It's not the other way around. What is one of your best, you can say more than one, your favorite memory from any of these games?
You know, we've played them when they were number 1. I don't know if you remember that. They were number 1 for 4 days, and we knocked them off.
Okay.
That's a pretty good one. Think about that.
Remember what year that was?
God, it was in the 90s, I thought. I can't remember when it was, but they've had some extraordinary teams. I mean, they had Urban Meyer, right?
Yeah, I can't stand Urban Meyer, by the way. He's a worthless human being, and I'll say it publicly.
They had Steve Spurrier.
He is a worthless human being.
They had some good football teams.
So, one of mine, I mean, this is always debatable, but the celebration in the end zone is one of my.
Oh my God!
Will last with me forever. I know where I was. I knew after it happened, I called my dad and was joyfully talking on the phone. He never answers his phone, but he knew I was calling. And so I will never forget those times.
Mark Rick let that happen too.
Yeah, I will. I mean, some of my stuff is more recent than some of the past stuff, but even in the game where Malcolm Mitchell scores that run touchdown, right? Take the lead, and then we get the fumble in the end zone. They're going. The tight end, their big tight end, who was a big player then, I forget his name, was going, and Jarvis Jones comes in behind, had that incredible year, and knocks it out from behind. I mean, that was a great game.
There's a lot of people on here, and we have some older viewers and all that kind of spend time with us. Grady Darcy, I've never met you, Grady, but we're going to meet eventually. Hope you're well. But the 76 game was a classic.
Okay.
And the Gators were pounding the Dogs at halftime. We were down by, I don't know, 17, 14 points. And in the second half, Al Pollard from Macon, Kevin McLeod were the two running backs. McLeod had over 200 yards rushing and Pollard 150 rushing. And we pounded him in the second half and came from behind. What a night that was. And I think that is the game where Macon's Johnny Henderson, the late Johnny Henderson, Coach Henderson's son, made the tackle on 4th and dumb when Dickey was the head coach at Florida. And this is before your time. And that was quite a comeback win when we beat them. I got a feeling this game's going to be very similar to that. We're going to pound the rock. You better hope we do it successfully.
Yeah.
I don't think we want to get into a scoring match with Florida because Lagway could have a good game.
Yeah.
He's probably due.
Our quarterbacks that we play usually do. Usually, for some reason,
Right.
they play the game of their lives. All the mistakes they've made, all the blunders they've done, somehow all of a sudden get turned around, and instead of being sacked, somehow he'll shed a tackle and throw a deep ball for a touchdown. Something dumb like that always happens when they're playing us. So, I mean, I will continue to say it. You're going to get their best game on Saturday. You're just going to get their best game. How we respond is going to be the thing.
Florida is a very fertile state for high school football.
Yes.
And they always have a good roster. They have an excellent roster right now. People are just, they were tired of the fact that you can't get this team to play together, whether it's Napiers calling or what he did as a head coach, or regardless, the chemistry, the kids are not rallying, scheme, whatever. But Florida is a formidable opponent every year.
Yeah.
So we got a tough matchup. And then I think about, we got to go on the road the next week to Starkville.
Yep.
And that's not an easy place to go if you've never been. I've been up there with my son, Drew. Paul Patrisco, Paul's Calls, was officiating the SEC. And Starkville is in the Nowheresville. It's like 80 miles, 90 miles northwest of Tuscaloosa. And you got to want to go to Starkville to go there. And then the Cowbell. So we got a tough matchup right after we get through the game.
That's a good offensive team, too. Let's just be.
And that's when you can get bit the worst.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be up for Georgia, Florida. Then they got to get on a plane and go Starkville.
Yeah.
Watch that one.
That's true. That'll be something we come with next week and have that conversation as
Right.
well. So this is a random thought I had left field. I know it really is. I was just kind of rethinking, like I said, my question to you was some of your most memorable times or thinking about the Georgia game, Georgia-Florida game.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Bless you, brother. Was the time that it was Halloween, we played them. I think it was Joe Cox was the quarterback. They came out with the black helmets with the red face mask, the white uniforms, and the black pants, the black breeches. People hated that uniform. I actually really like that uniform, and I will admit that publicly. I actually really, really like that uniform.
Well, that's where Freddy Krueger came out of that uniform.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I get people understanding the helmet looks like it's Grambling or whatever. I don't care. I would love to see. I mean, I love the traditional red helmet, red jersey,
Better keep drinking because it ain't gonna happen.
great britches. But to see a total black uniform would be pretty cool. Just saying, with a red face mask. It's never gonna happen. I get that, but just being honest and real, I actually really like that.
I am of the thought process that Penn State looks like this, Alabama looks like this, and Georgia's supposed to look like this.
Okay.
I don't like deviating from the standard in college football. I don't like it. I don't want to say anything else to make anybody mad at me, but I'm just not.
You can have a preference. There's no problem.
Now, by the way, we will be wearing white because the Gators are the home team.
Okay.
This week wear white. I like us in white on the road. For some reason, we play well in white uniforms. So we'll see how that goes too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to be an advocate for it. Once again, everybody has their preferences. Perfectly fine. That's something that I always like. Man, I'm really mad that we lost that game. We actually came out of that game and we scored the first 14 points. It was 14-0, and then it all fell apart because of, no offense, but Joe Cox didn't have the arm. We really honestly recruited Joe Cox because we wanted to get Massaquoi. And so we did. We got Massaquoi, which is a great receiver for us. And I think Joe Cox is now coaching high school football somewhere or something. Who knows? But that's just something I was thinking about in the past. Like, man, when would we ever go back to that again? Like, that's just curious. Where are those helmets at? Are they been dismantled and donated to some football high school
Probably
in
don't have them
Afghanistan,
anymore
maybe somewhere?
because the helmets have evolved so much that to be on the cutting edge, you just about have to buy new helmets every year, which means you're not going to own one helmet,
Yeah.
the newest type of helmet for one game that you may play every 8 years, 6 years. They ain't going to do it, so that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, you're right.
Is my guess. Those helmets are about $400 or $500 each.
That's crazy.
If not more than that. But the one Eric Zier, you remember him?
Oh, absolutely.
God, he had a game against the Gators. It was like forever. He must have thrown 60 passes, and they just kept pounding him and hitting him. I remember that game. Of course, we know the Buck to Lindsey play, which broke the chair for Munson in the press box. And then there's Ertz on one of these clips talking about something to Florida, and on the donkey you rode in on.
Yeah. Screw those Gators and the horse and the donkey they rode in on.
Donkey they rode in on.
Been posting that. Got in the group. I'm ready to go. So excited.
It's just such a big game, and the thing about it is, like the Red River rivalry, is just so much where it's equal footing fan-wise, and the fans just come out for that. And it's Halloween weekend. I mean, what else can you ask for? It's down by the river, the St. John River. You got the town. It's right there at the beaches. Golfing at Ponte Vedra, right? TPC Sawgrass. You got Jekyll. You got St. Simon, St. Mary's, Fernandina, St. Augustine. It is probably the best place to go for a college football weekend in America.
Yeah. It is the largest outdoor cocktail party. I don't care
It's
what
a special deal.
They try to say it is and what it is, and that's what it is, and it's going to be that way. And I'm glad we kept that rivalry for our, for the future. That's one of the ones we got to keep. The Auburn and keep the Florida one. Love it.
It's just so much. I remember when the motorhomes used to go down there, and it was like amazing how many motorhomes. I got some friends, Charlie Smith and Jane Smith. I haven't talked to them in years. We used to go down there in motorhomes, and there used to be a YMCA. We'd have to go get a cold shower. We had so much fun down there. It's just a great time and great opportunity. But getting back to football, Kirby will have them ready. He always does, and they'll be ready themselves. They know they can't lose another one. They better not lose another one. We got Texas at home. We got to go on the road. And then Tech is gunning for us. So we've got a stretch of games here. It's not easy.
Yeah. So your prediction, prediction will be a win. I predict a win. I just really predict it's going to be another close game, like another kind of Auburn game, I believe. It's going to be that kind of game, if I'm being honest with you.
Texas A&M's a powerful team in Miami, but I'm going to let you finish, and then I'm going to go with my score.
but I don't know much of the score. But I'm just like, I think we're going to win, but I think it's going to be like that Auburn game. It's going to be a grind out game where we're all like, yell at the TV, why are we playing like this? We just beat Ole Miss, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, Florida is going to go one, they're not going to stay medium. To me, they're going to go one full right or one full left. They're going to say, hey, we're just totally giving up because coach is gone, we don't care anymore, whatever. Or they're going to be like, we're going to play out of our minds now, and we're going to play really good. This is our game of the year. This is it. National TV, everyone's watching. We're going to be the upset kings, and we're going to go. That's what we're going to do. So I don't think we're going to see the same mundane, lethargic Florida team. I think we're going to see one or the other. A team that we beat by 20 points or a team we beat by 3 points. But I think we will prevail with a win.
I think you're going to see a game very similar to what Auburn and Alabama game was when we played both of those versus what you saw against Tennessee and Ole Miss. I don't think it's going to be that kind of game. I think it's going to be more like Auburn and Alabama game. It's going to be a tight ball game, and we might win by 10, 11, 7, 6, 5. But it's not going to be a high-scoring game. I don't think so because Texas A&M went for 24. I think Miami went for 26 or 7. And I see us somewhere in the 28. I don't think we get over 30 points. We might. We could. It'd be a surprise to me if we get past 30. But I don't think Florida, based on what I'm seeing, they scored 17 against A&M. They scored only 7 against Miami. They had a hard time against Mississippi State, scoring 23. They beat Texas barely with 21, 24 points. Florida's probably not going to score any more than 17 to 21 on us. And then I think we win by 10 or 11.
Okay.
That's the way I see that.
I'll take that. I mean, their defense is right around 20 points a game, right? Exactly 20 points a game defense. So if we can score in the 30s, I mean, we're above the average, and I'll take it right now. I agree with you. I think that statistically, we have a better offense. I think statistically we have a better defense, so the game should be in our favor. But some statistics don't read measure of passion for the game.
I hope our linebackers play better. I really would like to see them play better in coverage.
Yeah,
especially.
Let's see some tackles. There's no more missed tackles. That's something we saw in Ole Miss. A bunch of missed tackles that were on third down that would have been stops, but we missed a tackle, and it became a touchdown or it became a first down. So catching those tackles, which once again hasn't been an issue in the past, but maybe we can get it kind of tightened up this game. So it'll be good to see. Well, John, thank you again for another great show, bud. Let's cheers to the team. Go Dogs.